Namaskar. Welcome to this session. We are proceeding to the fourth Sutra of Kaivalya Pada, Nirmana Chittani Asmita Matrat. So the Siddhi is of the nature of Nirmana Chitta, fabricated Chitta, fabricated mind stuff, fabricated consciousness. Now, why is this fabrication mentioned here in the light of yoga? Is that we all have one manifestation at a time. We don't exist severally. So we have one set of embodiment, one set of motor system, cognitive system, and mind psyche system. So we already have the chitta and the whole enclosure of chitta, or the whole embodiment over the chitta. The why Nirmana Chitta is being mentioned, when we have it. Yet there is a mention of Nirmana Chitta. So this fourth sutra has been provided with an enunciation whereby we will understand as to what is this Siddhi, purport, import, purpose, process. So Bhashyakar commences. Yogi is endowed with several siddhis, and we have already seen the several siddhis in the Vibhuti Pada. And also we saw one of the additional siddhis in the Kaivalya Pada, which we just now concluded. Nirmana Chitta means Nirmana Kaya. The yogi is able to simultaneously attain many embodiment. So yogi will be severally existing, unlike is our case. We don't severally exist. So he is given the siddhi of Bahudehitvam or Bahudehatvam, multitudinality of the bodies, embodiments. So yogi can be taking up several dehas, several bodies, several shariras at one and the same time. So yogi can be Bahudehi. While our case is that we are not Bahudehi. We are Ekadehi. We have only one embodiment. So when we have one embodiment, that means we have a pair of hands and pair of legs, pair of eyes and pair of ears. So we can understand how we are limited. But yogi has this facility offered to him as a siddhi that he can severally exist, and therefore he can be simultaneously existing in several places for several functions, for several activities simultaneously. Now, what is the case of ours is that we exist in one place at one time. We cannot be existing simultaneously at another place at the same time, because we have only one body, Ekadehatvam, uni-bodiedness. We have uni-bodiedness and we don't have multi-bodiedness. And therefore we cannot be existing at one and the same time in several places, doing variegated activities at several places. So therefore we are limited. If I am here, I cannot be doing something there. If I am here, I cannot be there. If I am present here, I cannot be present there as well at the same time. And therefore we have limitations in our activities. See, even a common man, worldly man like you and me, we think of doing several things at one and the same time. We want that facility to be present severally. We want to be present at one and the same time in different places to be doing different things so that we can carry out our actions in a multiplicated ways with enormous multiplications. So therefore we are greatly limited. We have great limitations. We have only one deha, as I said, unibodiedness. We have unibodied condition. We have unibodiedness and unibodied condition. And therefore we can imagine how much limited we are. And one body will have only a pair of hands and pair of legs. It will have only a set of 5 Jnanendriyas. It will have a set of only 5 Karmendriyas. And actually, the workaholic people, actionaholic people wanted to be several things, several activities they want to carry out. But then that unibodiedness is a great limitation. It's a great obstacle. It's a very great desire shatterer. We have desires to do so many things, but we cannot do so many things. It is because we are unibodied. We have unibodied existence, ekadehatvam. And therefore we cannot be doing several things. Imagine if you could fabricate bodies. We could be here and do something which is relevant here. At the same time, deploy another body to another location to do something that is suitable there. So the we people, the mundane people who are very, very highly aspiration-filled people, we have endless aspirations. But the limit is because of our unibodiedness, ekadehatvam. And therefore we feel deprivation that because I am here, I am not able to do something there. Because I have only one set of motor system, motor organs and a set of cognitive organs, I cannot be doing several things because I have only one set of all these organs. Then we move into dreamland. Had I been multi-bodied, I could have played several roles. I could have multiplied my actions. I could have satisfied my aspirations by doing several things at one and the same time with several pairs of hands, several pairs of legs, several pairs of eyes, several pairs of ears. But I have a limited manifestation, and therefore we are greatly deprived. Highly aspirated or aspiration filled people find this limitation because of the ekadehatvam, unibodiedness. Basically, we have to be at one and the same place. We have to be in one place at one time. We cannot be present at two places at one and the same time. If we are present here, we are absent elsewhere. If we are present here, we are absent everywhere elsewhere. But suppose we could multiply ourselves, We could simultaneously exist here, there, elsewhere, manywhere, and everywhere that we wanted to exist. So, our ability to carry out karmas, karma kshamata, is limited because we have unibodied condition, unibodied existence. So, we have lots of limitations in our karmatvam, that is, ability to do karmas. To say in the language of Adhyatma, we have this prarabdha karma. Those who are on the path of spirituality, they have a lot of grudge and complain about prarabdham. The prarabdham is something that has to be faced and cannot be evaded, cannot be escaped. So the prarabdha has to be felt. Prarabdha has to be fructified. Prarabdha has to be experienced, and there is no bypass. So it's a major woe for one on the spiritual path, particularly a neophyte in the spiritual path. So he thinks of in a dream imagination, dreamland imaginations. If I had severally existed now, I would have finished my prarabdha in a quicker way. I could have faced two prarabdha bhogas simultaneously with two bodies, three prarabdha bhogas with three bodies, four prarabdha bhogas with four bodies, so on and so forth. So I could have finished my prarabdha karma if I had several manifestations. But because I am in a unibodied condition, I cannot experience several things at one and the same time. I can only experience one thing at one time. I can have fructification of one karma at a point in time. I cannot fructify several karmas by being limited because of unibodied condition. If I were in multi-bodied condition, I could have exhausted many prarabdha bhogas at one and the same time simultaneously. So, a neophyte in spiritual path sometimes goes into dreamland. But ours is eka vipaka karmashaya, if you recall, which we discussed in the second chapter. While the Karma Siddhanta was given exposition, we have the Trivipaka Karmashaya with one Janma. So, by one birth, we are able to exhaust the prarabdha by Jati, Ayu, Bhoga. But suppose we had severally existed, then understand how things would have been totally different. The point is, we have only one body at a given point in time. We don't severally exist. And therefore, we can be doing only one karma at a point in time. In a one and the same moment, we cannot do two karmas. But if we existed, say, double existence, in one moment we could have done two karmas. If we existed triply, we could have done three karmas in one moment. But because we have unibodied condition, we can only carry out one karma in a kshana, in a moment. So, what is dreamland for us? As I've been telling you now, that we wish we were severally existing. And that is only dream for us. That's only wish for us. That if I existed severally, and then you can imagine what all you can be doing, how you will be different if you really severally existed. So we could have done several karmas simultaneously, experienced several bhogas simultaneously. Uh, See, suppose we fabricate another body of ours, embodiment of ours. One body can enjoy the pleasure of given point in time. At the same point in time, another body can be in sufferance. So two bhogas can be experienced with two embodiments. Three bhogas can be experienced with three embodiments. Four bhogas with four embodiments. Five bhogas with five embodiments. So on and so forth. The point is, the spiritual seeker wants to exhaust the sanchita karma, the prarabdha karma, and even sanchita karma as early as possible. So the karma disposal will be greatly facilitated by a multi-bodied existence. And because that is not the case, we are unibodied, we cannot be disposing of karmas and disposing of bhogas. So, secondly, the karma bhoga is taking place by one tap. It is only one tap through which karma bhogas will be exhausted. But the karma has several taps. So, incoming karma comes with several taps. Outgoing karma only has a one tap. This is how the input and output or inlet and outlet is working. And therefore we pile up huge body of karmas. Because the karmas are taking place every moment. Nai kaschit kshanvapi jatuhu tisthati akarma krit is what Bhagavad Gita says. So the karmas are incessantly incoming. But outgoing karma is time consuming. That bhoga. The bhoga is taking place with one tap. And the prarabdha is exhausting with one tap. But the sanchita is increasing by multiple taps. And therefore now, even with our in our dream world, we can very well understand how important it is to be existing in a multi-bodied state, multi-bodied manifestation. So most of the ashaktis would be set aside. Most of the incapacities, incapabilities, inabilities would be set aside. And we would be able to do several karmas at one and the same point in time because of nirmana kaya, fabricated body. Now this is a facility for a yogi. Now yogi is not wanting to do several karmas, but the yogi needs to exhaust different duties. And therefore it is possible that yogi will have several embodiments to only finish out the duties in a quicker time. Rather than one by one duty, one by one duty, one by one, he can finish off multiple duties at one and the same time. Because he has multi-bodied existence, aneka dehatvam. That is because of nirmana kaya. Nirmana kaya is because of nirmana chitta. You just can't have bodies, dummy bodies. There must be mind, psychic consciousness in each of the embodiment. And therefore nirmana chitta implies nirmana kaya. Nirmana kaya also implies nirmana chitta. And that is being discussed in this sutra. To illustrate this case, of multi-bodied existence, aneka dehatvam, the commentators have picked up a beautiful episode from Srimad Vishnu Puranam. So, this is how the story goes. In Vishnu Purana, this story comes in the domain of vasanas, desires. We have so many endless desires. This is what the case of mortals is. Why do we want several or multiple existence? Because we can fulfill several desires at one and the same time. Otherwise, with unibodied condition, we can fulfill only one desire at one point in time. We cannot fulfill several desires in one point in time. But what is bubbling in us is desires and desires and desires and endless desires. So this story is about that. So, in Vishnu Puranam, there was a king called Mandhata. His name was Mandhata. And Mandhata had 50 beautiful damsel-like princess, Rajakanya. So he had 50 beautiful damsel-like kanyas, Rajakanyas. So in Vishnu Purana, there is the case of actually a sage, a rishi, who gets this desire. What happens is like this, that once he was submerged in a water body in his dhyana, and what he saw under waters was one fish united with several female fish. So he imagined what must be the Kama Sukham, that a male fish is united with several female fish. So what must be the enormous gratification that the fish might be having? And this Kama Sukham, it is immeasurable. The Kama Sukham is immeasurable. So this yogi in the underwater dhyana finds the kamana is bubbling. The kama vasana is bubbling. And therefore, he comes out of waters and he says, if one male fish can be with several female fish, getting the gratification, the kama sukham churned out, why not I have the same pleasure? Why not I become 50 and unite with 50 wives? So my Kama Sukha will be multiplied by 50 times. So this tapasvi his name was Saubhari. And Vishnu Puranam we get a passage called Saubhari Akhyanam. So Saubhari now is stimulated, motivated to go for Kama Sukham, and not just with one woman but with 50 women. And for him it is necessary in human form to take 50 bodies. He should become 50, then only he can unite with 50 damsels, 50 princes. how will the 50 princes opt for one prince to be uniting with? So he comes to know that Mandata is a king and he has 50 princes in his palace, and each one is beautiful than each other, bewitching than each other. So he says, how can I entice them? I must entice them. So he goes to Mandata, he says, I want to marry all your 50 princes. Now he knows that if I say no, I might get cursed. He might curse me if I say no. So he is in a quandary and he says, okay, there is one way. If my 50 princes opt to marry you, you can take away my 50 princes. So I leave it to them. So he says, okay, what is the way out? So he shaves all his hair which is grown because of his ascetic practices and becomes very handsome young man. He says, I cannot ask for 50 princes because the 50 princes may not opt for one husband. So he says, let me become 50. And he becomes 50. Because he is a tapasvi, he is an ascetic. With tapascharya, he has the power to become multi-bodied. And therefore he becomes 50. He becomes 50 handsome prince. So he gets multiplied as a prince and he gets multiplied into 50. And the 50 princes prepare to get married with these 50 handsome young men. And that's how he gets married with 50. Now he has 50 wives. Naturally, you can understand how the problem of having 50 wives gets multiplicated. Each one desiring something. So he is 50 bodied, no problem about it. But now his karma because of kama vasana grows 50 times because he has 50 bodies. He has become 50 and therefore there are 50 bodies to have gratification, and therefore the desire for the kama vasana multiplies by 50, and ultimately he realizes that I am in a tangle. And then he comes out with wise words which we had discussed while we were dealing with Vairagya, so I won't go back there. So you can find out what was his advice after he himself got entangled with 50 women, bewitching women. The point is he became 50. That is by Nirmana Kaya. And one Saubhari becomes 50 Saubharis. And he, with multi-bodied conditions, he got himself multiplied by 50. Therefore, he got multiplied his kamana by 50, his desires by 50. And that's how the instance of Nirmana Kaya gets mentioned in Srimad Vishnu Puranam. So that's the story of Saubhari. It's called Saubhari Akhyan. Beautiful passage which comes in Srimad Vishnu Puranam. So that's how multiplication, multi-bodied existence is possible, plausible with tapasya for yogis. Yogis do it for a noble purpose, while Saubhari did not do for noble purpose, and therefore he repented for his desires. Ultimately, he got the wisdom And he spelled out the wisdom for us, which I mentioned in the Vairagya Sutra that we discussed in the first chapter. Anyway, Vyasa gives enunciation. Yada tu yogi bahun kaya nirmimitere tada kimekam manaskante bhavanti atha aneka manaska iti. So yogi, by very sankalpa, very wish and desire, can create multiple bodies. Nirmana kaya. All these nirmana kayas are under one chitta. It is eka chitta tantri. But it becomes aneka chitta. So the question is whether it becomes eka chitta tantri or aneka chitta tantri. When Saubhari became 50, were there 50 Saubhari psyches or one Saubhari psyche? If there are 50 bodies, are there 50 chittas? So these are obvious questions. Or whether the 50 bodies have only one principal chitta. What is really the case? So this is a very important question that has come up in the wake of this mention of the Siddhi here. So if we are going to accomplish kartavyas, you want to accomplish your kartavya, that is one mind, one psyche, one consciousness. So it is like giving multiple taps to one chitta to be doing multiple actions. But then the primary chitta should be one and the same in all the multiple embodiments. They cannot have their own independent chitta. So the 49 Saubharis were not having independent mind, psyche, consciousness, but it was one primary chitta which governed the 49 other chittas. Then only the sankalpa would be fulfilled. If there are 50 psyches, then it becomes like a coalition government. If there are 50 psyches in 50 bodies, 50 chittas and 50 bodies, then it becomes like a coalition. Now, coalition government in political setup, you know what is the fate of it. It can collapse any time. Then it has 50 mouths to say 50 things. Then it is all chaotic. And therefore, Vyasa says Patanjali is giving a solution to this problem. So this is a solution to a problem which comes in the sutra that we are dealing with. It's not just a mention. So therefore he says, Nirmana Chittani Asmita Matrat. The second part of the sutra is highlighting the solution and not just a proposal to have several bodies. So he says there is only one primary major basic aham and others are all satellite psyches. Others are all satellite psyches. The primary psyche, centric psyche, is the one which is governing all that, like in a puppet show. A puppet show is performed by one person. He pulls the strings of all those puppets and they all make movements. So it is something akin to a puppet show. There are 50 dolls and there is only one person performing a puppet show. He pulls the strings for 50 dolls and 50 dolls do different movements. So the sutra is providing a solution and the problem is mentioned by Vyasa in his comment. If yogi multiplies, is it only multiplied body with one mindset or multiplied body with multiple mindsets? This is important. Otherwise, multiple mindsets will have diversified desires and they will be clashing with each other. So, he says there is only one major psyche, even if there are fabricated bodies. The satellite minds are there, satellite chittas are there in all other 49 embodiments of Saubhari. The primary psyche was one, which was in one embodiment, and the 49 Saubharis, fabricated Saubharis, had satellite chitta. So, this is the solution to a problem. So, with this enunciation, we will end the session today and we'll proceed on this topic in our next session. Namaskar, all of you.